They say I'm cute, can cook, and will get you hooked.
You know me, and you already know what it is. Greatness cannot be rushed.
Two things for the soul. I never lie to you or on you.
I am the architect of my life. I build foundations and choose content.
I might be quiet, but I observe and remember everything, so watch out.
I may be heavy in his sheets, but I apply pressure to those streets.
I'm just a southern girl who means what she says and says what she means.
What's up? This your girl, Timk K, and this is Friends and Wives Podcast.
What's going on, America?
Hey. Oh, don't come
don't come like that. No, ma'am.
I know, you terrible.
I didn't know if I just come on in or I was just going to wait.
No,
You
just
come on in. You come
at
through.
the table.
Hey.
What's going on? As y'all can see, we have two lovely women on the podcast here
Oh,
today.
got a new and an old head.
Include yourself.
Oh, I am the third one, but that was understood. So, to my left, as y'all seen before, we have Miss Stephanie White of SAM, which is Stephanie's Advanced Mentoring. Mm-hmm. And then we have, wait a minute.
Do you want me to introduce myself?
No, because she's an oldie and goodie, but you guys heard her on our first season. Listening to her, now you have a visual of her beautiful face.
Oh, she fine. I didn't know she was that fine
over there.
The world can see Miss Brandi J. Flynn.
Yes.
The therapist.
Yes. I'm so glad to be back.
Yes, I'm so
We're
glad to
you are
have you
back.
here.
Oh my God, my head hurt.
Oh, Lord.
I need your arms. I need your table. I need your
He
couch.
needs some special love.
I need some vodka,
He
baby.
needs some special loving. Some vodka.
Some vodka. You know,
That's the first step, is to admit that you have a problem, isn't it? I think.
Miss White, you have a problem.
I don't know, sir.
Thank you so much.
She's an
And you know I'm
enabler.
back in the building
Isn't that
like
what B-Baby
always.
said? And now always. Israel in the
That's
house.
right, baby. Timski, I missed you.
I miss you too, boo-boo.
I'm glad you back.
Thank you.
Brandi, I'm glad you back.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
Miss White, I'm glad you back.
Why can't I have a first name like everybody else?
Oh.
Stephanie, I'm glad you are back.
Thank you.
He put some respect on your name.
I see.
Just like Brandi just got on me before
I
we
did not
started.
get
Yes, she
on
did.
you.
Shut her down,
She did.
Brandi.
Some
No, I
respect on her,
didn't.
Jay.
Yes, she's
She
like,
did.
my name is Brandi J. Flynn.
I mean, y'all don't say Mary Blige.
And that's true. Because
They call her
you say that
auntie.
now, right?
I'm calling. You can call me auntie too. Auntie, but just put the J.
No, you know what? If you say Mary Blige, everybody's gonna be like, "Who's that?
Exactly.
Who is that?" No, seriously.
Okay, but how was y'all weekend?
My weekend was phenomenal, but it's not about me. It's about these ladies here. How's your weekend going?
My weekend's going well. I had the opportunity to be a guest on Friends and Wives.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. The highlights. Oh, what was that look for?
Hold on, wait a minute. All of us have the same hair color. What is going on?
Oh, we sure do. I mean, with the roots.
With that.
Yes, I'm
What
so
we thinking?
excited.
Oh, this show finna be
Oh, it's
epic.
gonna be lit today,
Oh,
baby.
But you know, you gotta lose your train of thought, right? And have a blind moment.
Yeah. Ever so
Is that what
often.
it is?
Yeah.
Ever so often.
Oh, that's why I couldn't hear, huh?
Oh.
That was my blind moment. Sorry.
Oh Lord, she had a.
I sure could.
Well,
Was that a Becky?
You know
Becky,
what?
you okay?
Let's start it over again. Welcome to Friends and Wives.
The blonde edition. Yes.
I'm so excited.
Like, why can't I
Yes. Oh, I'm about to turn it up.
There we go.
You got it? You got it? It's okay.
It sounds better now.
Yes.
It's okay.
It sounds beautiful.
Oh my God! But our
Yes.
hair colors are popping, guys.
It
This is gonna be the
is.
best episode ever.
Oh, you know what? I'm so excited.
I am too.
So tell me, what's the difference? People say blondes have more fun. Is
They
that
do.
true? Why do you figure?
Can you verify that for sure?
They do. I don't know. It's just something about whenever I'm a blonde, I don't know. It's just a little.
Color, because color gives your countenance a lift. So
Okay.
then you kind of just have that pop when you go
Right.
out and when you walk past that mirror.
But it's the right blonde too.
Yes.
You know what? No, I disagree because I can pull off platinum.
But I mean, you
If
can.
it matches your
You know what I'm just
your
saying? The
undertone. Some
blondes
people
work
can't
for
do
you.
that.
That's what I'm just saying. You have to have the
Everybody
right
can't do
blonde.
You know
The
what?
skin tone.
I
to
have seen
match.
some beautiful, dark, deep melanin women with blonde hair, and
Right.
it's just like, oh my god,
Right, it works for them,
It's
but
exotic, right?
I think one time I had a blonde
penny color, then it's not going to be.
because one blonde
yeah,
I
they
had a
can't
blonde before, and it kind of whitewashed me. So that's what I'm just saying. You have to have the right blonde has to fit
How was
you.
that experience as a therapist being whitewashed with your blonde?
I pushed it on through. I keep my problems at the door.
You did. That was just the inner talk, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, don't let the hair define you at that
Exactly.
moment.
Just push it on through.
Oh, I'm not mad.
You like
Right.
salt and pepper.
Push it,
Right.
You still had your internal soul.
I did.
That's so
But on the
funny.
inside, I was like, I can't wait to take this out.
Like, oh my God.
Right.
Was
You
it
know,
that bad?
sometimes it was. I had to catch myself.
Was it, oh my God? Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Oh, you know what? That's terrible. No, don't look at me like that.
So when y'all rock blonde, you told it like a blonde for the whole day, for the whole week?
What you mean? It's just, you know,
They have
right.
them blonde moments all the time.
It's
you
a
know.
season. It's definitely a season. It really is.
Well,
What
I mean,
about
just
you?
that
You
one
wearing
time.
it too. I'm like,
You what?
and you got a couple. You got a 2-tone blonde.
That moment.
not the 3-tone. She said you got a 3-tone blonde.
It look good on there.
It look
You
nice.
know, it does. It does.
does.
You know, I like that look too. Normally when I wear my braids, I have that 3-tone going on.
Okay.
But it looks good.
It does.
But what's your next style?
My next day, I have no idea, guys. It's just, I never know.
That's how
You know
I
what
am.
I do know? I actually do. I'm gonna lie, I do know, but I can't reveal it. It's gonna have to wait for
Oh,
season
God.
3.
Oh, God.
Season 3.
Are you going to make them wait that long?
Heck yeah! I'm transforming every season that we on.
I ain't
wow.
mad at you about
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
I transform every damn
Right.
week. You never know what wig I'm going to put
Baby,
on.
she gonna have some.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you who noticed my hair change. It'd be my clients.
Now, how do they react to that? Look, like, how do they? How do they pull out my book?
They when they see me, especially if I'm versed, when I just pop it. Okay,
Hold on,
what am I doing?
She said clients. Specify what you do for clients. 'Cause
Well, for-
people don't know sometimes.
Well, for those who don't know, I am a mental health therapist. Well, I call myself a mental health specialist because I do more than just sit and, ask, how you feeling today.
Oh my God, I mean, no disrespect, but I'm about to die laughing right now.
What I do? What's wrong?
Why your ear?
Why your
earbud? Why your earbud?
Wait a minute. Hold on, girl. No.
Oh, you can't include
That's what
me.
we've been laughing
You can't
at. We've
include
been
me.
killing
For real?
Yeah.
Can you hear better now?
Can you hear now, baby?
Can you hear better too?
This is the show of the blondes.
Both of these blondes had their moments.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. These are some great headphones because I still heard myself, but I heard a little distance. I just thought maybe my hair was going bad. I thought it was my hair, but yeah, okay.
You know what? That's
Hey,
terrible.
I thought a bug was on me or
She was about to
or
exit stage
something.
left.
No.
I was so.
I was just like, oh my God. It took everything in me not
Well,
to.
you know what? I'm not perfect.
No,
so, hey.
that's right. That's right.
And guess
If it
what?
makes
I
you feel
carried
better,
on.
I did it first. Y'all didn't realize that's what he was trying to tell me. That mine was flipped up.
You know what? It's
I
going
told
around
her
the
a
table.
secret. They over here laughing at me. That's how you know you great. None of them tap me.
Right.
They like, we just,
Right.
the
Just
therapist. Okay, we gonna see how she gonna therapeuterize herself out of this.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then it just, I just bust out. I was like, oh no, hell no. I know I'm not seeing
Now
what
see, I
I'm
should just
seeing.
bust out and saying, won't he do it?
She's like, okay, now I gotta let the whole audience know what we're talking about.
So before we came on, I was like, off the air, but since we on air, I said, you know what? I said, I have to say this. I said, but I say this with love. I said, every time I see you, I just want to sing, won't he do it? I said, you just seem like that you can just build this song out. Like you just, but I said it off the air. She could have tapped me and just like,
I'm sorry, but
girl,
you know
it's
what?
cool.
I almost bust. But you know, I would hit the won't he do it?
I mean, it's cool.
Yes, he will.
You know what? If I was y'all, I would have laughed at me too.
But you know, it threw me off because I was just
programmed.
like, "Oh, you don't have it programmed."
Last time we had a host who had the songs
Programmed in the
right.
phone. Yeah, you know.
Oh, yeah.
DB.
You know, DB will hit a violin, a spiritual, a quote,
A
a
Negro
hymn,
spiritual in a minute, honey.
everything on you in a minute.
And then it's audio, visual, so everybody gonna see that.
I know.
It's all right.
But you know what?
I'm cool. I laugh at myself.
And that's what you're supposed
Yeah.
to. Laughter is good for you.
It is. It really is.
And do you teach your clients that?
I do. I honestly, I'm gonna tell you something. I actually implement humor in therapy because I try to make it as light as possible.
Yeah.
Not that I don't take what you're saying seriously, but we're already dealing with something so serious and uncomfortable, and I see that when I make my clients laugh, it kind of makes it easier for them to talk about it. So, I might crack jokes and, say a little something. Never anything disrespectful or anything like that. But, we going to get a couple jokes in here.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm so happy that I have not only you, but Miss Stephanie on the mic because the show prior, she got into in-depth about her son being on Ellen and how her and her husband created her husband and her child, Sam, created a ABC song, right? That's what I heard.
And also a book, correct?
And a book and all these other things. And I feel like it's so important to have parents like her because it helps stimulate the baby and the mental
parents
health.
like her.
Yes,
Black
parents. And you know what? Just parents in general, because there's a lot of parents that's struggling regardless of race. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So she actually is setting forward to make sure her child is, in the right spirits, in the right mental state.
She's pouring into
like
him.
that. Yes.
I could say one thing I can tell that you're not doing is that you're not living through him, meaning saying if you missed out on something or that was something you wanted to do when you was little, so you're going to make him do it, but you see a certain talent in him, so it's like, I see this in you, so let me pour that into you and for you to become your own person. So I truly commend you on that, and I wish that a lot of parents would pour into their kids, find out their talents, find out what they're good in, and pour into them to make them great into it. So I totally commend you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I have to ask, when you was thinking about, I know you got laid off and you had to, just decide to pour in. Mental health was one of those things that you research and try to figure out. And what did you come up with in that process to be able to mentor him? And what were some of the tips that you got that kind of help you build that foundation?
For my son?
Yes.
Well, I had taught for a while, so a lot of what I saw in the classroom with some of the babies that I had, because they'll always be my babies as well. I know it was the joke about babies.
But baby,
yeah, big babies. But I looked at how there was the desire to have someone close to them, to have someone who was like motherly or someone just to listen. And so I said I wanted to make sure that I never shut my child down because, when children are small, they're going to be loud. And a lot of times, what do we do? Go sit down.
Be quiet.
Sit in the corner. Be quiet. Right. And you give the electronic babysitter. I wanted to be able to be a part of all of what he did just because he was just fascinating to me because I wasn't planning to have a baby. So all of a sudden it was like, surprise.
Oh.
And it's like, okay. Because I didn't find out I was pregnant until I was like 4 months.
Oh, wow.
4 months.
Yeah, because I was still having all the normal stuff that happens every month. So I didn't know. But it just really was important to me because I thought, as much as I was trying to wrap around the kids that I was with, I had to make sure that I did that. So now the mental health part of that, you're right. I mean, it was devastating to receive a letter to say, your services are no longer needed. But I knew that was actually par for the course for the type of job that I had. So I couldn't be upset about that.
Okay.
But by the same token, it doesn't feel good. So really, it was my trying to distract myself when I started really like pouring into, well, you know what? I don't want to think about it. Let's get up. Okay, we're going to put these cards up here on the island, and we're going to go over these sight words every day, and blah, blah, blah. But there were times when I would really be kind of like, wow, me? But again, I knew it was the nature of the job that I had, so it was something that could potentially happen.
Right.
But what I would say is that many times when people are faced with a situation where they no longer have their job, sometimes, I'm going to take the spiritual route. Sometimes we won't move out.
My girl, I
so
understand.
God will just go ahead and just provide that little exit door for you.
Right.
And
Right.
when you walk out the exit door, as long as you weren't embarrassed and you weren't you look at it and say, okay, well, you know what? I had that opportunity. I have that experience. Let me put that on my resume. Let me figure out where I have something that I can kind of work with. But it didn't feel good. It didn't.
Right.
Because you kind of question yourself sometimes.
I understand that.
Well, I got a question too.
What's going on?
This is for Miss Stephanie and Brandi.
Okay.
So there are people that's out there that's going to be watching, and they're probably thinking like, what is the difference between mentoring and you doing for mental health coaching? Because some people may think they tie in together the same thing.
That's a valid
So
question.
can you break the difference down between the mentoring and mental health coaching of a person?
Well, let's do this. Let. How about you share what mentoring is? Because I don't want you to put in like, well, no. I don't know if you do know. So you share about what mentoring, and I can share what about therapy.
But hold on. But before we get into this, let's take a break.
Okay.
Then bring the glue back, put it back together, and we'll tell the world the difference between the two.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll see you in just a moment. Y'all enjoy.
I hope you guys enjoyed your break.
Baby, what? We back in school, lady. Woo!
Well, you know what? Before you left, you was like, enjoy. And I'm like,
Your break.
enjoy what? So your break.
Took a small
Your
break.
chips,
break.
right.
Took a snack
Anything.
break.
Whatever
Ate a
you need.
Lunchable.
Right.
Ma, what you said, that was good back in the day, though.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Them little
Lunchables
juices.
were- they were
That was good.
So before we left, we were going to discuss the similarities and the differences between counseling,
And mentoring.
mentoring,
Mm-hmm.
therapist, mentor.
Right.
So let's talk about it.
So what I'm doing is not quite as much along the doctor line, like what
Okay.
she's doing with the counseling. What I'm looking to do is to assist parents, because with the teens that I work with and the young ladies that I work with, as well as with the moms, I'm looking to try to help them, kind of usher them into understanding that what they're doing is they're doing a great job, but giving them some ideas.
Gotcha.
It's not so much like you need some therapy and you need to sit down and have somebody to kind of help you to analyze like your life. Now that's not what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Now I am getting ready to go into life coaching. I'm excited about that.
Okay.
But no, what I'm doing more so is just providing ideas and kind of, it's almost like you're helping people to organize a room that
Okay.
might not be quite so organized.
And you know what? I'm so glad you put it like that in layman terms, because I think a lot of people do get those crossed. The difference between therapy and mentoring and counseling, and some people need counseling and some people need mentoring. So I like the way you put that. It's organize ideas according to a specific topic. So that makes sense. Okay. And what you got, Miss
Brandi.
Miss Brandi
Brandi.
J?
Brandi J.
Miss Brandi J.
Jay in there.
So, put some respect on my J. So, with counseling and therapy, so first of all, I want to say those go intertwined, because a lot of people are like, I don't need counseling, I need therapy. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Pretty much same.
We're here.
The same thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's intertwined, but what with that details with whatever issues you may dealing with, meaning issues that you're dealing with your past and also that you're present, that could be I don't want to say interfering, but that can play a part in what the direction of your future.
Okay.
Because a lot of times, if we don't deal with our past, our future, our present can go a certain way, which will lead our future to go that way. But if we deal with the past, that can kind of change our present, then our future can go the way that we want it to go.
And then, in order for you to get your certifications and your degrees and everything else, you have to understand the complex mind, right?
You do.
Behavior.
And not only just the mind, but also the behavior, the various symptoms. When I say symptoms, I mean systems like your family, nature versus nurture, the biological aspect. It's so much, because I tell people what occurred in your life at 6 can play a part in your life in 26. Because a lot of times we think that we'll just get over it, we'll forget it. We don't forget it. We just suppress it. We just move on, but we're not realizing that we are reacting the way that we acting because we never dealt with what happened in the past.
Yes, I understand that. So the difference for you is...
It's coping. I want to say people.
No, not necessarily. That's not the route I was going to say. I was actually going to say, I really had looked at the cameraman because he wasn't on me. So anyway, the difference between is, oh yeah, I throw shade all the time. You, as a therapist, you're looking at trained behaviors, the environment, things of that nature. You're not organizing the thoughts. You're saying you are this way because of certain scenarios. And
I'm very particular of how I say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do look at, generational things, like if your mama was this way, your grandmama was this way, then it's a possibility this is why the way that you are. Yeah, exactly. So, and then sometimes you have some people that are the way they are, not because of that's how their family was, but they trying so hard to not be that way that it still cause some type of self-destruction.
Gotcha. Yeah, you self-destructing. I'm so busy trying to figure out how not to be like my mother, and I'm just like my mother.
Yeah.
You know what? To be honest, when here recently, like when I first turned 30, it's like I literally had a breakdown. I do not know why. I just like, my life.
Wait till you turn 40.
I heard.
What is a breakdown? First of all,
breakdown.
What's breakdown?
I literally
what
went
is
through.
Explain
I went through a state in which I didn't want to talk to the people that I was in the environment with anymore. So I started separating myself. I started getting more in tune with myself. And I wouldn't even call it a breakdown, huh?
It was growth.
It was growth, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the breakdown was, I am not where I thought I would be.
That's what happens. It happens to a lot of women. It happens to a lot of women in their 30s, especially if you're not married, you don't have the kids. That's how I was.
But
or you're not making the amount of money that you thought that you would be making at that time.
But you know what's so crazy? I was the complete opposite of what I thought I was going to be. So by the time I was 25, I wanted to be married and have children. So by the time I was 30, my kids are at least 5. We're going to school. That was like my thought, right?
Okay.
And although my life is not messed up at all, like I am a successful senior at an IT company, right?
Okay.
I do not have any children, but I'm very driven and things of that nature. So everybody looking at me like, what is wrong with you, idiot? Like, something is wrong with you.
They think something is wrong.
You haven't done those things? Is that what you're saying?
I think it was more of the children and husband aspect of the situation. And even then, I was still, at that time, I wasn't in a relationship, but I was in the time growth, right? I don't want to keep dealing with this stuff. And, and I started really looking within, like okay, what's going on? Going into the childhood traumas, understanding that, and going to therapy.
Right.
I did go ahead and go because my director, she was like, I think you should go to therapy because all this happened after I had a car accident, and I feel like everything was like falling apart, right? And so I just became very mean at work, right? Just not bubbly, and as y'all can tell, I'm bubbly. Y'all see me on here all the time, and I was not in the right space. And so when I, got over that transition, and it took me my whole year of that 30 to really just get aligned. And me where I'm at now at 32, I'm excited because I'm embarking all these new endeavors.
That's great.
Really excited. I really feel good. I feel like my foundation is finally, not from a financial standpoint, because I was doing good for some years, right? Doing really well. But as far as what I'm putting out in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, who am I? How am I contributing to the society, right? Like, because I wanted to be more. I don't want to be in a box and stuff like that. So, and I'm only 32 and I'm excited about what I'm doing now. Because when I turn 40, I'm gonna be something serious. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
And I'm not even thinking about husband and kids. It's like
about what you can do.
Yeah, it's like it's completely out of my mind, and it was a breakdown. And therapy there will help. And you know, I got the exact opposite of what I thought I needed in a therapist. I got an old white man.
You know what? My therapist, I'm gonna tell you something. Real talk. My therapist is a white woman.
Yeah.
Currently now,
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a white woman.
you need help.
You
I'm
always
still
You know
human.
what? I'm glad that you made that statement because I was actually going to piggyback off of that. I think there's a stereotype that if you get a therapist, that there's something wrong.
And it's not the
And
truth.
it's not.
Not at all.
So I'm gonna tell you something. So when people ask me like, what's my niche with therapy, I say I help people find a balance in life. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're depressed. It doesn't mean that you're dealing with some form of anxiety or whatever like that. You're just trying to get a balance. Like when I started my therapy, I told my therapist, I said I suffer with PTSD from dating.
Okay.
From
I can
dating.
see-
From dating.
Shit, I can see how.
Yes.
What is you saying?
I said I have
Break the bones.
PTSD
A lot of
with
people
dating.
do.
Like, yeah. And I said that I truly want to work on me. So when I'm ready to be in a relationship, I won't sabotage it.
So are you currently sabotaging relationships?
What is
Well-
she doing?
Sabotaging relationships.
That's the French version of it.
Sabotaging relationships.
Good, I love that.
No, but I have no relationship to sabotage in the first place.
But you know what, Brandi?
So-
Could you kind of expound on what you mean when you say PTSD? Because I think a lot of times people are experiencing things, but they just don't know how to label it or understand it.
So let me say this. So PTSD from dating, that's something that I coined. I stated. But PTSD, of course, is post-traumatic stress disorder. So anxiety about it. It stresses me out. And the post-trauma is from relationships, things that I've dealt with in the past that was very, very triggering to me. And I would say this, I think a lot of stuff I kept in because of who I am. Like, even though I am a therapist, I do more than the average therapist do. So I couldn't just react like some other people can do if you guys can read between the lines.
Okay. All right.
So,
Gotcha.
you know, so I was just like, but I don't want to be this person, you know. I want to deal with this. I want to deal with all of it because I do want to be in a loving relationship, especially after the last relationship that I had. Really, it I don't want to say it took me there mentally because it wasn't like it was abusive, but how things ended was very traumatic
Okay.
to me.
And so when you approach dating, it's like a deer in headlights.
Yes, it
Oh
is.
my God.
It is the deer in headlights for
Yeah.
me. I will be totally honest about that.
So are you saying PTSD? There are so many different forms.
Well, PTSD is okay. So PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, is a form of anxiety. There's different formations of anxiety. PTSD is just one form of anxiety.
And if you break it down, post, right? So something you dealt with the past.
Yeah, it's something.
That was traumatic.
Yeah,
And what is it? Post.
post-traumatic stress disorder.
So it stresses you out.
Yeah.
When you're presented with something
Right.
similar again.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Stephanie, did you have those issues? PTSD.
Well, no, you know, everybody's different though, because at the point in my life, I didn't start dating until very, 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 very late. So for me, it was because I had sustained myself for so long. It's like, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do understand how but then too, that also bodes and goes along with the fact that if you've never been in love, it may not be where you just kind of It's like, well, you get used to somebody being there, but
Yeah.
it's not like you're actually saying, oh, I just can't live without this person. I got to
Right.
have them. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying my personality wiring is as such where I was like, I need to make money. I want to have my own. I want to be able to do what I need to do when I want to be able to do it. And it's not to say that I didn't want to have somebody there, but I
Right.
think it was, well, I want to make sure that I'm bringing something to the table
Right.
too. So dating just wasn't on my mind at
Right.
a point because when we're a little younger, we get more attached. I mean, people get attached, period, if
Okay.
it's somebody that you really, really like.
Right.
But when you start, it's kind of like one of those things, exactly what she's saying. We all have PTSD. We have PTSD about hot things. We've all put our hand on the stove when we were little.
Yep.
And then every time we see something red, something hot feels a little warm. So it's just that part. But to answer your question, no, I don't think that I've ever experienced PTSD as far as dating relationship. I absolutely suffer from PTSD when it comes to friendships.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know they really
And you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm glad you say that. So in my service, I offer friendship counseling, and you know, so many people.
And that's very needed.
But I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people don't understand that. They like, if I got issues, it might ask for friendship. If it's a struggle, but I'm like, but you go through these issues with a man or a woman,
Right.
So why can't you put that same value in your friendships as you do in relationships? And I've done a couple of friendship counseling sessions, and it opened their eyes to a lot of things.
And you know what? When I was talking about what I went through back when I was 30 and getting rid of certain friends and stuff, I had fell into a place of codependency in which they, I wouldn't say necessarily use that, but they took advantage, right? And it was one of those situations where I just really had to understand what was happening, right? Why I felt that way, and why did I feel like I needed them in order to be able to just move without the world or whatever
Right.
the case is. And I have stories like just stories like it just doesn't even make sense. And one of the things, and I don't know if I might have to talk to you about this, but I do, is when stuff is like falling apart, I will step back, shut down, not necessarily shut down from like all communication, but only that anybody that was close need to know. That's who I shut back to or whatever. And I was told that, you know, it was at least two of them was like, well, you can't do that every time something is going bad or whatever the case is. And I was like, I'm, you know, in my mind, the way I justified it was, okay, if I'm not me, I can't give you a part of me if I can't rebuild myself in order to replenish you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was very selfish that you would want me. I'm telling you, hey, I'm not in real space right
part
now.
of you.
Okay,
Of
so you
all of
communicate
you.
that.
Yeah.
You communicate
And I-
that.
and I
okay, see,
have.
that's the difference. When you first said it, I was receiving as that you just shut people out and you don't say anything.
No.
But if you're telling them, this is how I'm feeling, I need space, then if they're your real friends, then they would respect that.
Right.
But you also said something that made me think, okay, they're selfish, because when you said I'm just rephrasing what you said, something about take care of me so I can replenish you.
Right.
You need to take care of you
Just
for you.
Right.
It's like whatever you pour into people, and this is the selfish part, whatever you pour into people should be the overflow. It's like when you put that cup, I don't know if I used this analogy last time, when you take a cup under the faucet and when you pour it, when you have it upright, you fill it up and then it starts to overflow. But when you turn the faucet off, you still have water in there. But think about, you put that cup to the side.
Right.
The water just goes out.
Right.
You're giving to everybody else.
Right.
You're not giving to yourself.
Right.
Another example, I told a client, I said, she was just talking about how she always give. I said, I want you to do an exercise. I said, I asked her, I said, when you get just think about your favorite bag of chips. I said, when you get your chips and somebody asks for some, I said, what do? She said, I offer them some first. I said, why? You bought them chips for you. Why can't you get what you want and you give them what's left over?
Because we've been socialized that that's selfish.
We have. And I'm going to tell you something. So I told her, I said, this is your assignment. So I want you to go to the store. I want you to get your favorite, that old hood chips.
Right.
go home. And I said, if your kids ask for some, get yours first.
Right.
And she said she did that. Her kids was just shocked, like,
Right, because they expected
she was
it.
just like, well, I'll give you some in a minute. Let me get mine first. Because just think about it. If you
first.
have a bag of chips and you like, have some, all three of us want some, then you get yours.
You don't
There's
have
nothing
anything.
left.
Ain't
broken
nothing
and
left.
crumbled up in
And
the
then you
bottom.
mad, but who should you be? It's like you mad at us, but the person you should be mad at is yourself.
You know what? I had a similar situation. So I used to be like, okay, I used to open the doors and make sure everyone was okay. And, you know, I've changed a lot. And I ran into a situation the other day where I was trying to walk into the package center and you have to put a code in. And so it was two young women who was lined up or whatever. And they was standing there and I was like, oh, they was like, you can go ahead and go. And I was like, okay, cool. So I put my code in and this lady, she went to open the door, right? And she proceeded to walk in. I was like, hold up. I was like, excuse me. I was like, let me go in first. And whatever happens after I walk through, that's a whole nother story. So I was like, I was thinking to myself after, because, you know, of course, the vibe was kind of thrown off in the package center. And so I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, was I wrong? So
No,
I
you
called my
wasn't.
mom. I called my mom. And I was like, tell me if I'm wrong. And so my mom, she knows me. I have times where I'm just a complete ass, like I am. And I told her this situation. She was like, no, you weren't wrong at all.
I'm gonna give you a bad example. Just think about when you go, like if you live in an apartment complex that had a code and it's somebody at the gate waiting for somebody else.
You should not let those
the
people
least
in.
you can do is wait for me to go through because
Right.
I'm the one that got the
Right.
code.
Right. Exactly. The same
You wait.
concept. The
You
same
let me go
concept.
through.
And I was just like, and she just didn't. She just seemed like she didn't understand the philosophy of that. I just don't get it. And so when you mentioned the chip situation, that made me think about that happening the other day. But switching gears here.
But hold on, before you switch gears,
What's up?
I do want to piggyback off Stephanie.
Okay.
She did advise, she said she had PTSD from friendship.
Okay.
Break that down. I need you
We
to break
will
that down.
break that down right after this break.
Go, girl. Go,
She done
girl.
learned, y'all.
Ooh, talking about, baby.
We'll be back. Friends
She
and
gonna be
Wives
an official podcast on this show.
And have the applause.
Welcome back. Before we left, we was actually going to get into Miss Stephanie and her
Yes.
friendship. What is it?
PTSD.
PTSD of
I don't know.
friendships.
Yeah.
Elaborate, man, because I need to know this. Because
So-
it's kerning in my soul.
Okay.
It's kerning.
I think many people probably experience PTSD. It's where you have accepted less than what you probably should from friendships. It's not that you have to get back whatever it is that you give out, but if you just don't get anything back. Like when I say that I have PTSD, like I have this thing where I'm always going to check on people.
Okay.
But that's my personality.
Yeah.
I'm going to text you, hey, are you having a good day? Because I know that these are your work hours. But when you're off work, I may not get a chance to, but at least I've kind of touched base with you. If I know that you've had a loss in your family, I'm going to, say my condolences or whatever, but then I'm going to come back and check up on you a month later because that's when normally you don't have all the people around.
Right.
If you have something going on where you have an event, I'm going to come and support you. If I
Okay.
can't come, I'm going to figure out whether I send food for the event or, as old folks say, I'm going to do something. But then when it comes to me, I can have an event, I can look around and I'll be like,
What is people at?
I had my father passed. I know some people that I was like, wow, really? Still haven't heard from them. I lost my job. I'm going to have to give this example. Prior to my losing my job, my husband normally has connections with a lot of people. And so this young lady called me and she was saying, oh, my husband's having a hard time on his job. And do you think your husband could help him to get a job? Oh, sure. Well, the husband ended up losing a job. She was a housewife. So I said, well, you know what? Come on, let's get your mind off of that. Let's go get our nails done. Let's go do something just to kind of, keep you upbeat and give yourself a chance to pull away from
Outlet.
It's fine. You a job.
that. 9 months later, when I lost my job and your husband has one, it was on the news. It was public. It wasn't that I had done something. It was just the fact that there was a change in administration and they said these are the positions that were gone.
Right.
Damn.
Ask me, did my phone ring?
That one
Did your
time.
phone ring?
Ask me, did it vibrate?
Did it vibrate?
If it did, yours did at the time. And so I just got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna try to make people be me.
Mm-hmm.
So let me keep on trying. Let me accept people for who they are and where they are. But I finally got to the point where I said, if I'm on mile marker 125 and you still on 52, I'm sorry, I can't wait on you any longer.
Yes.
Oh.
And so then it got to the point where, because I'm an only child, so I desired friendship so desperately because I wanted like that sister type relationship. And then I would come across people and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm being too suffocating. So let me just kind of, play cool with, like you're in high school, play cool. Like, that didn't do it. Well, maybe I'm not being attentive enough. So let me make sure that I'm tired of jumping through these hoops. I don't know how to hula hoop, despite how big my hips might be. I can't hula hoop, okay? I can't do it, emotionally or physically. So it just got to the point where I said, like, I called somebody one day, and when I tell you, and from what I understand, because I did ask, nothing was going on, I get a response back 2 weeks later, but that was after my saying, are you good? I just want to make sure. Because, I don't jump to the conclusion that you just didn't call me or you're mad about something. God forbid. Maybe you didn't show up. Let me check to make sure you haven't been in a car accident. So then I thought, you know what? People aren't making these concessions for me. People aren't calling and checking on me. People aren't coming to my events to support me.
Right.
I'm done.
Yep.
So I'm on the P of the PTSD. I have not progressed past go. I'm still there. Now this is the next part. Do I want to move past it? No.
Oh.
I'm tired of being hurt.
I understand that.
And let me say this on that part.
So I'll just be nice to everybody.
So let me say this, because I know a lot of people who probably listen like, oh, she need to move on, whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't force no one.
I was just about to say that. So the answer. Yes, you do. But when you're ready. Mm-hmm. Because when you move on before your time, then it's not sincere. It's not real.
And see, you know what I like in that too? When people try to tell me, well, you need to just get on. Well, I tell you what, if I'm sitting at the red light right here and you at the green light and I decide I'm ready to move on, but it's not my time, I'm going to have an accident. Exactly. Something's going to happen. I'm going to get hurt.
Right.
I'm going to stay right there at this red light.
Right.
And it might be a train coming, the reason I'm still sitting there. But at the end, I've turned my engine off.
And
I will not pass go.
Right. You're in that solitude moment. And you know what? It's amazing how your friendship is the same stuff that my friendship issues were. The same thing. And that's when I said I couldn't pour into, I was like, I can't pour into your cup anymore because I'm doing all this and they all had children. So we had two totally different lifestyles. Too.
No, I still will do things for people. Like even people who have done me wrong. If I know something's going on with you, I'm still going to be supportive because that could be me.
Yes.
However, once I'm done, bye-bye.
I would say this.
Pick up the phone.
I used to be that way until a couple years ago when I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer, and I paid attention to the people who wasn't there for me.
Breast cancer. I already understand.
And it's like, there's nothing that you can say. Men, the ones who used to be in my inbox, don't say nothing, people. I'm like, I know and you couldn't even reach out to me just to say something. So it's like, F you. Like, I don't wish you hell, but I don't wish you well. Like that, like I would say this, when I turned 40, my level of BS changed. It went down. But when I got diagnosed, it really like people like when I tell you my IDAGF, just
is that the personality test?
No, I was initials. I don't know if we can cuss on here, so that's why I said the initials. Like it went, and I'm gonna tell you something. And it was like during that time I was in therapy because when I first started therapy, it was for my PTSD of dating, and when I got diagnosed, I was like, "We'll worry about that later. I need you to help me to get through with this." And she told me, she said, "Your feelings are valid, and all our feelings are valid, even though feelings may not be facts, but you have every right to feel how you feel.
Right.
And people need to understand that.
And the reason why I still will help people to a certain degree is because I feel like I refuse to stop being who I am.
Right.
Because you insist upon
accommodate.
being who you are.
And
So I'm just going to be me, but I'm going to move on. I'm not going to sit there and try to wait on you.
So I would say this: I'm not going to stop being me, but I'm going.
Everybody won't get to
everybody
experience
can't
it.
get that.
They
Have
can
the
have
access.
access.
Like you
Right.
can just say, and Kenny, you have access to me, but just say that. Just say Kenny did something to me. I'm not going to change who I am.
Right.
He just would. If he did something to me that I just felt like just so unforgivable, and if I had people, especially with friends, like I've lost some people in my life that I was just like, I just can't believe it. Oh, okay. Those people, there is nothing that you can say that would make me want to be your friend again. And I'm the type of person, I give second and third. I give too many
15.
chances. But certain situations happen post cancer. There's nothing that you can say. Again, I don't wish you hell,
Right.
but I ain't wishing you well.
I can feel where they're coming from. Now, my experience wasn't cancer or anything that, traumatic, but I did get into a car accident in which I was in the hospital laid up for a very long time. Yeah. And so when you go through those, just similar situations, right, where you just down
You're not
and out,
100%.
Yeah.
and it's just like, okay, there's been plenty of times I didn't see your children born, and it's one of those situations where, oh wow, not a peep, call, text, are you okay? None of
Nothing.
that. And just laying in the bed, and it's something about just laying in that hospital bed. I don't know if y'all had to do any chemo or anything like that. Just sitting there and just being in your own thought. That's a whole nother ball game. And I don't even know what y'all experience, but just laying in the hospital bed needing assistance, right? I can't move.
Yeah.
And the people that you want to support you is not there. That's hurtful. Very
Okay.
hurtful.
So, Stephanie, you had breast cancer. You're a survivor of breast cancer.
I had surgery.
Shout out
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
I
Yes.
never knew
But now,
that.
and I'm going to say, that's what I wanted to say. To be fair to some of the people who did not show up, I did not share it.
Okay.
Because everybody doesn't wish you well.
Yeah.
So I kept a lot of that to myself because it's like when I found out, I didn't say anything, but it's like when you buy a car. If I buy a Pinto, I hadn't seen a Pinto on the road, but as soon as I buy one, it's like I see 50,000. Everybody was coming to me, my so-and-so had breast cancer, and, she died last year. I don't want to hear
Lord,
it.
have
And
mercy.
they don't-
Negative,
So
baby.
You know what?
keep
Oh my
things
God.
to myself.
Yes, because
Yeah.
And they don't
Because you have to.
And they
Yeah.
don't even really be meaning that.
Right.
They just
Ooh,
just
girl.
want to have
Making poor conversations.
Yeah,
Just
that's
wanna-
really what it is.
Just a checklist.
Yeah, it has something to talk
Right.
about.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you are just damaging me right now with it, and
Yeah.
it's very important to keep your mind in high spirits when you're
Correct.
going through that
Correct.
time, because that's what's going to help you get through.
Because I was
But
talking
emotionally,
to myself.
Stephanie, were you going through mentally? Was you have a psychotic breakdown? What was you with mentally when you was diagnosed? Or when you was going
So it was really kind of a bad piece for me because I went to the doctor and they said, it looks like the cells are changing. They're mutating. Then I go back. I don't see it. Well, what had happened is that the cells had changed. Like those twisty buns that they used to have, like anti-annies or whatever, anti-annies or whatever. So it was coming around like under the tissue.
Damn.
Oh wow.
So when I had to have surgery, that was devastating because I was like, naturally you're gonna have one boob bigger than another. Is this one gonna be real big and it's gonna be real little? And I don't want any implants, and I don't want. How I'm gonna look? How do I? I mean, I was practicing with socks, trying to figure out what I was gonna do. I mean, you'd be surprised at the stuff that goes through a person's head when they, they have something like that going on. But that's why I was saying, to be fair to some people, they did not know because I did not want to hear that negativity.
Right.
But there were people who did know, and then it was like, you didn't even call. I had total hip replacement surgery. Total hip replacement surgery.
Wow.
And when I tell you,
And you
I
in these
called people. I called, and that is so unlike my personality for me to reach out and say, "Hey, can you bring something to me?" Well, I don't get off work until. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I can't walk right now, but okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I get off at 5. If I can,
That's
5,
what
I
I
can
say.
bring it.
If you said that part,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's how I am.
But I call people who I knew
was off work.
that was
Was
close
tired.
enough.
Close enough.
If you took your lunch break, you literally probably within a stone's throw from me.
Yeah.
And depending on the situation, like depending on how if like my grandmother, mother, father, whoever, and they were like, "Hey, I need you to do something for me," then I'm going to make it happen because those are the type of people that are not about to ask you
Right.
unless they really need it.
Exactly.
So that's
Don't
immediate.
If
Right.
I ask, that means I
It's
desperately
immediate
need it.
I can be on the side of the road with a flat tire. I'm pulling the jack out.
Yeah.
I'm pulling the tire out. Now, if somebody stops, great. But I will say I had
calling
a
AAA.
wonderful surgeon for my hip replacement. So it was like I felt so much better immediately.
Ma'am,
way you
you
walking,
walking in
honey,
right in heels, 5
I'm
inch
like, what
heels.
replacement?
I would have never known that ever. Shout out.
So how long? Is one boo boo bigger than the other one? They're the same size to me.
They're the same
Are you
size.
serious?
Well,
I was kind of looking, but we all uneven.
I'm looking now.
I'm
anyway.
looking at like, I'm like,
If you don't know now, you know. We all are uneven. Don't ever think
Okay.
Yeah,
anyone
and
is
really,
perfect.
right.
Yeah.
And so that was my concern because, that's part of what we feel goes along with our being feminine. Our hair, it might be our lashes, our boobs, our curves, whatever. And so it's like, you about to take a piece of that from me? That was a bit much. But, I was in there talking to myself. You're going to line up. You're going to get in. You're going to be right there with the word of Jesus, and you're going to be all right.
I know that's right.
okay, so when you are mentoring and when you are counseling, do you incorporate religion, like prayer, into what you guys do? I want to know that.
With me, I do what you call secular counseling because I deal with people all over. But if you mention God
Right.
in the session, then I'm gonna
she
speak
can
on
go
God.
lead.
Then,
So you will.
then I speak. Now I'm not quoting no Bible scriptures, but if you come to me and you're mentioning God in our sessions, then I will speak about godly ways.
Because you brought it up.
Because you brought it up,
It's
but
not
not
like I'm trying to influence
Yeah,
you.
I'm
Right.
not influencing you.
So do you pray at the end with your client?
No. Now I had one client. Well, he was a pastor, so he prayed. I guess because I had my counseling, he prayed.
Okay.
He prayed for me.
Okay, and you?
Now, I'm not going to. But when I first get with people, I'm going to pray before they walk in that door. I'm going to put some oil on my hands and anything that I think they might touch.
I need to sage my office.
And then after that, it's like, now if somebody says something, oh, yes, we're going, oh, okay, now I know. So I kind of can go from that point. But no, I don't actually pray unless, because I have had people to ask me, can we pray? Or they seem like they just were so, and I'm like, because my thing is, sometimes people kind of blend into the counseling therapy part. So it's like, let me tell you where I think you should go.
Yeah.
Make
Right.
a recommendation because that's outside my scope. Now I can always give you my opinion,
Yeah.
but I don't have those credentials to say this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
And even with the credentials, you still got to be careful.
Be careful. Yeah.
yes, because everyone's not on the same platform.
With religion, Lord.
and not saying platform just as if it's anything, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean when
Yeah, I
I
got
say,
you. Yeah.
in the same realm. So Miss J Flynn,
I take
Brandi
Yes.
J.
J on there.
Miss J
Flynn.
Flynn. No, I'm calling her J Flynn.
That's fine.
And so,
Miss BJ.
I was told by the producers that you're actually going to be on the show Fatal Attraction.
Yes. So I'm going to be on Fatal Attraction. I did a taping of it earlier this month. It is a case based in Memphis. I think the murder happened like in 2018.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I did that. So this is my first time on Fatal Attraction, but this is my fifth time on national TV.
Okay.
on
What mean your
TV1.
fifth time?
Yeah, so I
Elaborate.
So I did one show called Thou Should Not. It was only one season.
I seen Thou Shall Not.
So I did an episode of that.
The wedding.
I did one. The one that I did was this couple, they were bodybuilders.
Okay.
So I did that one.
Okay.
That was the first time. Then I did For My Man. I did three episodes of that. One was based in Atlanta. One was based in Little Rock, and the other one was based in Memphis. Okay. So this is the first time that I'm doing Fat Attraction, and I hope that I do more because this is part of my brand.
She's an actor.
Absolutely.
And a counselor.
Well, no, I'm not an actor. I'm giving my expertise on it.
Oh, expertise.
Oh,
I'm
to
sorry.
consult for the show so that they know how to.
Yeah, so that I'm the one that they're asking questions. So
they know how to actually.
No. I'm on camera. They asking me questions. It's kind of like if you watch Snap.
Yeah.
And how they have different people that's telling the story, giving like different aspects of it.
Y'all know. Okay.
Okay.
Look, I didn't watch.
You ever watch 2020?
Yes.
Okay, like when they do like true crimes, and they have like different people, like they may have a reporter, they may have a police officer.
Gotcha.
So I'm the therapist. So I give a mental health component, not diagnosing them, because then I always tell them I can't diagnose these people because I don't know them.
Right.
But I can give you therapeutic components, psychological components about something generic about the situation. You know, why people may do some of the things they do, what are some of the signs, different things like that.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing.
That is so awesome.
God is going to he's expanding your territory.
Yes, he
I
is.
just love
Thank
to
God.
touch and just touch these
Touch
beautiful
and
ladies.
Touch the hem of my garment, girl. Touch the hem of the hem.
The hem, everything, yes.
I'll break out and start praying.
Baby.
Yes.
But be mindful that your mentorship is going to elevate as well.
Yes.
It is going to soar. So don't think what
I
you're doing is so small. Because what you see small, God, like this is your greatest adventure ever. I'm going to take you to places that you never imagined with this.
Yes.
But I would say with this, I think that parents that are listening about what you're doing, especially if somebody says, what can you do for my child, what you did?
For yours.
The parent going to have to understand, you're going to have to open up your horizon. I can't do this just for your child. Right. You're going to have to play a part into it too.
And that's part of what I do with the mentoring. Like I said, kind of helping you to organize, for you to realize that there are opportunities throughout your day. But people think, oh, well, I don't have time to sit down and teach my child. You're in the car together. Yep. You're in the bathroom with the children. You are in the hallway there are opportunities to do things with your kids with your normal day-to-day, so you don't feel like you're really kind of venturing outside of.
You know what? I have really enjoyed you guys today.
I know, right?
It was so informative.
But hold on, I got one question.
Yes.
This is something very quick.
Yes.
Stephanie, pronounce your maiden name?
My maiden name is Jones.
The other one.
My middle name is Nerissa.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
It's one of the characters from one of Shakespeare's plays because my mom was an English teacher.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Oh,
You're just so
wow.
wonderful all
Nerissa. Stephanie
around.
Nerissa.
Nerissa, yeah, because you call me Nerissa.
Oh, Nerissa.
Oh, it's a different.
Better put some respect on my name.
Okay.
Risa.
Well, I ain't never try to pronounce it.
Reese's
Nerissa.
peanut butter cups.
I hate to cut y'all off, but it's time to go. I enjoyed
Thank
y'all
y'all
so
so
much. This has been Friends and Wives Blonde Edition, and as you can see,
Because I had a blonde moment.
No,
but
it's
you know what? It lets you know that no matter what your hair color is, we're all fabulous, and we all are not perfect, but we're all glorious in one. Thank you so much for Miss Stephanie
Thank you.
and Miss Brandi J
Yes.
for coming out to Friends and Wives podcast. Thank you guys for supporting us. Please let the people know how to get in contact with you on your mentoring.
Okay.
And then, for therapy.
Sure.
Okay, so for mentoring, you can go to my website, Stephanie Nerissa. I'm sorry. We had to revamp. I'm so
The blonde moment kicked in.
I know. It was the headphones.
I love it.
Stephanie's Advanced Mentoring, STEPHANIES. Advanced with the D on it, mentoring.com. And then you can find me on Instagram with my Mommy Moments Matter. Mommy Makers, actually, for Instagram. And then Facebook is going to be Stephanie Nerissa, Nerissa.
I love it.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So my website is www.brandijflynnccs.com. It lists all my Instagram, my Facebook, Twitter, and everything that I do. My other business that I have, the Beeline, the book that I have, everything about me. You'll be able to find it on there.
I want you to tell about that book. Go ahead and put
And
that. I
the
know.
beeline.
Yes. How do you just? Don't be bringing that
I'ma
down.
No, give us the short version.
Come on,
Give
give us
you
the
1
book.
minute.
Okay, so 1 minute elevator speech. So my book is called The Balancing Act. It is a self-help book for athletes to help them to balance their life in the world of sports outside the uniform, because part of my niche with counseling is that I do work with athletes. Okay. And when I say athletes, people in the world of sports, whether it's the coach, the trainer, the wife, whatever. Okay. And I have another business called the B Line. It's an inspirational product line where I have my own inspirational coffee mugs with my own personal sayings. I have a signature coffee line, tea line, candle line, and skincare line.
Okay.
And she was going
She got the soap,
Yeah,
right?
that's part of. I said that upon the skincare line.
Yeah.
So seriously, you just gonna minimize that because people just, you can just go to my website. They need to know all of that is on there, ma'am. I deal with marketing too, so you need to let people know.
Well, that's why I said they're going to pay like, I know I listen on her. You know.
Or they might not go because they don't know it's there.
Oh, look at the marketing coach. We'll have her back in order
Y'all
to
might
get
need
us
to link up,
together.
baby.
Right? Y'all, thank you so much. This has been Friends and Wives podcast, and we're out.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Bye.
This is the Spotlight Podcast Network.